Many thanks for staying with us. It's still a conversation, and this morning we're having something very interesting to talk about. Now, across the world, evidence continues to show that when women are empowered, societies prosper and nations grow stronger. Yet in many developing countries, including Nigeria, women still face structural barriers that limit their full participation in national development. And as the world commemorates International Women's Day, we're examining the topic, investing in women for national development. And seated here with us are Abimbola Jack-Oladugba. She's the chairperson of International Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA Lagos, and our colleague, our friend, journalist, broadcaster, and social entrepreneur, Anikeade. Yes, she taught me how to pronounce that. Anikeade Funke-Treasure. You're both welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
You're welcome. Now let's start by setting the context of for our viewers this morning. When we talk about investing in women for national development, what does that really mean in practical terms? The question is for both of you, but I'll be starting with you, Abimbola.
Thank you. Investing in women for national development. I think from the world you'll be able to understand that it's about progress, it's about development. And when you invest in women, it's like it's empowering the women to be able to withstand what future brings for them, to be able to withstand the challenges that come along their future activities, their daily activities, and in turn building them up to be able to return back the benefits of this investment into the society, into the community where they belong. For instance, now it's a very wide belief that when you train a woman, you have trained the world. When you give to a woman, you are very sure you are going to gain back. So give anything to a woman, you will definitely gain in double fold. Yes, train a woman, she will bring a home from it. She will bring a kind of a whole community from it. She will multiply.
Whatever is given to her.
Yes, and in turn, it adds to the development. It adds to the empowerment of other women around her, and even the family, so to say. So developing the woman is not just that phrase. It goes beyond saying, and it can never be overemphasized, because in turn, every society, every community where women are trained, where women are acknowledged, you agree with me that they always have a very strong economic power.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, for me, I get a little irked when questions like these are asked, because it tells me that women are still seen as
Waiting to be given
power, but also seen as the weaker vessel that we need to prop up, that we need to. But that's not who we are.
Okay.
We are the engines of our families. We get the families to run properly. We ensure that there is cohesion in the society. So if we escalate that to a national level, you're looking at people with voting power. When you talk of national development, there are factors that you look out for. There is the population, and when you talk about population, women constitute half the population of Nigeria, because if you're 49% to 50% of the population, then we're talking about half the population. And if you're not factoring half the population of your country into development strategies, there's a problem somewhere. Having said that, if you look at the informal and the formal sector, so now we're looking at the economic factor in national development, you see that women are both at the formal and the informal sector. In fact, we're much more at the informal sector, we're heavy at the bottom. Although we have recently, and I'm really proud of that, that we have quite a number of bank CEOs who are females.
I think that one is gradually becoming
so you see, and it wasn't like that before. So we could say that's a plus for national development, that we have women in banking and finance who are decision makers, who are there in economic governance, and who are ensuring that there's inclusion there. Then you look at political participation, and this is one of my pet peeves as well. If you have the voting power and you have less than 4% participation at the political, the legislative level, then there's a problem as well. So then, I don't know what the other questions are, but these are my pet peeves. Women are there, visible in terms of culture. And when you look at the culture economy, you're looking at movies, music, textile, and more. You find prominent women there. So women are part of the national development in Nigeria, but we need to be more visible. We need to have more power in terms of governance, in terms of, you know, much more other areas that we need to be visible about.
Riding on the need to be more visible. Now, let's look at some of the barriers for both of you too. Let's look at some of the barriers that are still keeping women down. You can speak from the experience. You are a lawyer, and you look at some of the issues that women are dealing with, and also you can speak from your perspective.
Good. A lot of barriers are facing the women. Folks. You have the religious constraint, our religious belief, our customary belief, and also marriage. Apart from that, the gender restriction in workplaces and some of our laws and rules, and this includes majorly our own tradition values. You believe with me that in this part of the world, just like she rightly said, that women that seems to be the vulnerable sex, they are the weaker vessel. So with that belief, they don't really understand, or they don't even want to acknowledge the qualities, you know, the goodness that is deposited in women, all because of the cultural limits, or the cultural values, or traditional beliefs of that sect, of a particular sect of people, and most especially in this part of the world, in this part of the country, people see the men as being the lord over everything. No matter what you think you are as a woman, they don't really believe you should preside on anything, or you should be in charge. And if you look at it, that there are in some areas where women have been given that space, the chance to lead, or to at least be in charge, there's always positive outcome. There's always, you know, remarkable, you know, commendations. But because of our belief and our tradition, and also marriage, this is the part of the world where people believe when you are in a marriage, you cannot achieve certain things more than your spouse. If your husband has not built a house, you cannot build a house as a woman. Yes, from experience, I've heard that from so many women. They have enough money. They are even ready to cooperate with the man. But because the money is not coming from the man, you know, they have been limited, been restrained, you know, from progressing, from going further to, you know, to achieve what they have worked for.
Yes, we hear this all the time. I know you're. Let me
I'm
just go with
Funke. I'm all of them.
Okay, from what she has said, you know, how do women now begin to challenge, you know, these norms without, while still respecting the social barriers?
I mean, I'm glad that my co-guest has talked about the cultural constraints. I want to talk about the educational constraints. And this cultural one is important in national development, because then we'll begin to look at the gender factor in decision making in Nigeria. But before we get to decision making, there's the education. How many
Education.
women are getting educated? What are the barriers to education in Nigeria? And that's where what I do comes into play. If you have women, you have girls and boys in schools. Boys don't menstruate, girls menstruate. Half of the time, they're not in school because of period poverty. And it is not priority yet for many of our governments, although I want to use this occasion. Isn't it International Women's Day? Let me use it to say thank you to the First Lady of Nigeria for her initiative in giving sanitary pads to girls in secondary schools across Nigeria, because that's very vital. It looks small, but it's a big issue, because a lot of our girls miss school because they can't afford something as basic as sanitary pads. And when you have someone at that elevated level, you know, showing interest, then you begin to see progress. You see all of our other men in decision making paying attention to that. Having said that, so then you look at the ratio of men to women in terms of educational possibilities and opportunities. You see that more men are educated than women. There's statistics to show that. Let me quickly reel out that statistics. It says adult literacy rate is 41% for women versus 61% for men. Women have an average of 4.2 years of schooling compared to 6.3 years for men. We need to close that gap if we're talking about national development. And it is when we close that gap that women can move up in the informal sector as, you know, economic participants or participants in the economy, and move up and have more access to finance.
In the economy, we find women, you know, who are usually in the informal sector, and they are the ones that always give back most of the time. Is this where education comes in for them, because they just want to make money and ensure that they multiply it in order to take care of the family, in order to take care of the immediate environment? But you know, yet, you know, they're still down there. Is it education now?
It's opportunities.
Okay.
There's another statistics that says only 33% of Nigerian women have bank accounts, compared with about 4 to 6% of men. And I want to believe,
I like that.
I want to believe says that, you see this 33% presently must be because of COVID and the Naira crisis we had in 2023.
Yeah.
Otherwise, 33% is even high, you know, compared with where we were coming from. Because during COVID, we were forced to, you know, go cashless, and then during the Nigerian Naira crisis in 2023, when we were changing, you know, the currency, a lot of our women at the informal sector level, then had to get bank accounts and all of that. But if you also look at fintech, you see that women are there at the upper level, at the leadership level, but we can be more. And there could be more inclusion of women at the economic level, at the financial level, at the fintech level.
Okay, I do agree with what you just said, because just yesterday on X, there's this man who promised 3 sisters some kind of reward if they clean up a particular area, and he needed to send the reward to them. Of course, they were all below the age of 18, and they didn't have a bank account. And their mom, who was about 40, had never opened a bank account.
There you go.
He had to, and we're not talking about someone in the rural area. We're talking about a woman who lives with her children in Ekpe, which is part of Lagos State.
And this is 2026.
And this one had to travel all the way to Ekpe,
to give them the money.
you know, to give them the money, because the woman had never been to school. The mother, she's been orphaned since the age of 10.
See,
She had
education.
She had never been to school.
Yes. And also, I think it's part of our the societal failure, because we know very well that in this society we have the different category of people. A lot of them really, they are not educated, and they don't even know how to use the phone or go online for anything. If it is the standard to go beyond the normal to reach out to these people, let them know how important it is for them to have a bank account, and make it seamless, make it very, very easy for them, you know, to access a bank account. Sometimes when I want to open a bank account, there are things they will ask from me because they know I have it or I'm able to get it. But when you go to the level of those kind of people, there need to be some kind of waivers. Yes, it should be properly monitored, but then there need to be some kind of waivers so that they also can be a part of this development we're talking about. Imagine you trying to get somebody from that kind of group. You want to give them a business. How do you pay? How do they access the money? Do you understand? So if we also, as educated, you know, fellow that really wants this development to keep going on and to get deep down to the, you know, to the lowest person in the community, we have to create some new, you know, standard for them to meet up.
All right, women are still underrepresented when it comes to leadership and political positions. And if we are discussing investing in women for national development, what do you think needs to be done to close up these gaps?
First, I'm going to give the statistics to back what you said.
You came ready.
Yes.
You came ready.
Women hold about 3.9% of seats in Nigeria's parliament. 3.9%.
Both the upper and the lower, lower chamber.
In the Senate, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 women out of 109 senators.
That's 3%.
That's 7.3%.
Because it's
in
so
the
low.
House of Representatives, 12. Only 12
out
women.
Of 300?
Out of 360.
60.
So Nigeria has one of the lowest levels of female political representation in Africa. So we're talking about representation and governance, right? But in terms of representation, how can, if women or females constitute half the population of the nation, how are we having 8 women in the Senate?
In the Senate.
How are we having 12 women at the lower chamber, at the House of Representatives? So it tells you there's a question mark on representation. We do not have enough voices representing this half the population of the country at the legislature.
Is it because we're still waiting for it to be given to us? Is it because we're still waiting for this bill for women that should give us
the
some
barrier?
seats?
Being
Is it because
barrier.
It's
because
part
we're
of the
still
barriers,
waiting?
not
Or is it
because
barriers?
it's the barriers.
It's a patriarchal
It's
society.
the barriers, and then we will need the cooperation of the men, you know, to get this done.
Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Because if we cooperate and collaborate at the society, I mean at the family level, and the family is a microscopic
Of the society.
It's a microscope of the society, of the entire nation. If we're doing well at the family level, tell me why we're not doing well at the national level, where it matters most, where the bills are presented, where the issues are presented, where we can influence how the nation is governed, what becomes of our children, what becomes of our own estate as well.
Yes.
How many women have their own land to farm?
Good question. How many?
So you see, there are issues
And these
that
are
we
the
should be
areas
pushing.
where decision affecting the women, affecting the family, the children, the society are being.
Or is it that
made.
the men are afraid of something? Or what are they afraid of?
Well, I think it still boils down to our religious, traditional belief and norms.
But are we putting ourselves out there enough?
Well,
Are we equipped enough?
The reality is, what are the entry barriers militating against women putting themselves first? If you look at what's happening in Ogun State now in the run-up to the 2027 elections, you see that 3 women are already out there saying they want to be governors. I haven't, look, it's my bestest time being a female in Nigeria.
I think it's the first time that is happening.
It's the first time it's happening, and it's really great to see that happening. 3 women, 3 influential women. 3 women of substance are vying to be governors, be gubernatorial aspirants in Ogun State, and it can't be more exciting because we're going to see competition, and we're going to see women should be excited to go and vote. The men this
begin
time
to tremble.
But will the men allow these three women to be? Will they pass the primaries in their parties? Will they be allowed to be the voice at the government house come after the election?
Do you think society is ready to allow women?
I think that's the question we should be asking. Is the society ready? And if we say society, we're talking about us women.
All of us.
We're talking about our husbands, our fathers, our brothers, our cousins, our children. Are they happy? Are they ready to see their mums and their aunts, taking decisions at that level? And why not? I remember watching a video recently of the former Secretary of State in the US and the former First Lady of the United States. I'm talking about Hillary Clinton, who said, you cannot trust this particular aspirant with nuclear power. If he gets to be president, he's going to take America to war. Hello.
Where are we today?
It has happened.
Where are we today?
It's happened.
And I like the
women
fact that
won't go to war. Women will dialogue.
I like the fact that you even mentioned, America. You mentioned Hillary Clinton. Even in the developed world, they are not ready for a woman president, because I think that was what worked against Kamala Harris, and of course,
Kamala. Sadly so, they're not ready.
And of course, Hillary Clinton. So in Nigeria here, do you think we women should continue to strive, or just take what is given to us?
I think I want to strongly believe that we should continue to strive. If you look at where we are now, it's quite different from where we were in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s. Yes, I think we are better off now, and so we have to continue. We don't just sit down waiting, and we cannot fold our hands and say we are preparing. Let us continue training ourselves. Let's continue sensitizing women, empowering women, empowering ourselves.
We do that a lot.
It can never be too much.
We do that.
We do. For me, sorry ma'am, for me, I don't think the UK or the US should be our yardstick, because Africa is an ancient civilization, and we'd always had women in leadership. We'd always had women going to war, actually,
before colonization,
in African civilizations. But then I move fast forward to Namibia, where we have a woman president. Or prime minister, whatever the appellation was, she's leading the country.
And even before
if you look at her cabinet, they are women. I think she has up to 3 men in her cabinet. So that is another example for the world to look at. So if you're talking about Nigeria and national development, the role of women in national development, investing in women in national development, how many of our political parties have mentoring programs for women to, rise in their parties? How many women can afford what, the amounts, the bizarre amounts they ask for you to pick up a form, either gubernatorial or presidential? How come in this country we have a country as blessed in terms of human capital as we are, and we have those ones who are not as smart as the many of us leading us and being in strategic areas?
So let's move from challenges now. Let's move to solutions. So if Nigeria is truly serious about investing in women for national development, what are the first two steps government and institutions, what are the first 2 steps they should take and should prioritize?
I think the first should be funding. The government should create enough fund to train women, to empower them.
Like what she highlighted earlier.
Yes, like what she highlighted earlier.
to train them, to give grants for business purpose. Generally, if you want to empower anybody, you need fund. Yes, that cannot be taken away. So there should be some kind of areas that the government need to focus. That, okay, we want to face the women now. Let's create these opportunities for them. Let's create that. Let's create this. And then it's not just giving lectures here and there, sensitizing people here and there without the action to push them forward. Another area is the education. If you look at the boys and girls now going to school, sometimes it is easier for the boys. Because a girl, you find out that some girls will have to stay with their mom in the morning to quickly do some errands, go out to sell things and all the rest. At the end of the term, their results can be different. Though there are some girls that are really blessed, even with all that. It's not because they wish to do so, but because financially the parents are not, they are not fine. So they need to use these children, you know, to support their system. But if there's enough fund from the government, you know, supporting the parents, supporting the mother in her business, she'll be able to, you know, get enough money to sponsor her kids to school and see them through education. Because education is power. So they need to, most especially, take those two areas, you know, very important. And in other areas, at the workplace, you see, there are some rules, some laws that really mitigate against women. Like, I think there was one of these mining law that the women should not be allowed to work underground and things like that. And even like in the police force, I don't know, I think they are making some kind of amendment now. Yeah, adjustment, where a woman cannot have a baby outside wedlock, or she cannot, there should be some time before she can say she wants to get married or things like that. You know, it's funny, you know, it is really funny. But then it affects the females among them. It strongly affects them. And there should be some rules in the workplace, you know, that encourages and supports women. I've seen a case where somebody went to work and she said it asked her to stop because she's a nursing mother. You know?
Didn't they say her pregnant?
I've seen another one when a lady was asked to stop because she was pregnant. But they knew she was married before getting her into the job. Yes, she even submitted her wedding certificate and all that. But the moment she got pregnant, when she was 6 months, they told her, they laid her off.
So what is the role of the media? Sorry, so what is the role of the media in escalating ensuring that this type of cases do not continue?
Well, a nation can't stand on one leg. As you can see, half the population of the country is female, the other half is male. You cannot continually focus on one half and neglect the other half and expect a balanced nation in terms of national development. Women are already powering the informal sector. What women need is scale. They need access to capital in order to scale their businesses. If you find someone who's fried akara for forever, she wants to expand that business of akara frying or corn roasting by the roadside. But who's going to give her scale? Who's going to help? How easy is it for her to access credit? That is something we should think about. So it's not always empowerment. Women they're already engines running. What they need is scale. What they need is visibility for their work, for the work they do. And what is the media doing? The media is there as the fourth estate of the realm, reporting, analyzing, giving insight, going to the rural areas, bringing up all manner of situations before the people so that they can take their decisions. The media has not stopped doing that.
Not stop talking.
This will not stop. Look at, we are here again.
Talking.
this is going to be uploaded online. So we're both online, we're terrestrial, we're offline, we're doing all of these things as the media. And so those in governance cannot say that they are not seeing, they're not hearing, or that they're not watching. We're doing our best. But you see, that leadership, that decision to cause a shift in mindset and to absorb more women into national development is the decision of the overall decision maker, whether at the state level, at the local government level, or at the national level. So then we have the judiciary, we have the executive, we have the legislature. In these three forms of government, these three levels of government, what are they doing to ensure that women are, that they're investing, because that's the word you used in inviting me, investing in women for national development. It's International Women's Day. Everybody is paying lip service. But how are you investing in women in health care? Nigeria has one of the highest maternal mortality rates. If you're allowing girls and women to access education more, we're going to have less teenage pregnancy. Because nowadays the family is collapsing. So the girls are fending for themselves and they're getting pregnant. And once they get pregnant, it's very difficult to get back into education and make the best of their lives. So our decision makers at the three levels of government must begin to intentionally look at how to invest and include women in national development. It's not time to pay lip service. We've heard you. Happy International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day. Oh, this summit, that summit. That conference. Summits, conference, events, workshops. They are nothing nowadays. What we need is action. Proper inclusion of women. That's what we need. Make credit facilities available to women at the informal sector. Those in workspaces, those of us who are educated, allow us to move up the ladder.
Thank you very much.
It has been an insightful conversation talking about investing in women for national development. Time will not permit us, so I see that I
there are many more questions.
But thank you again, Abimbola Jack-Oladugba, for your time on the conversation. She's the chairperson FIDA Lagos, and Anikeade Funke-Treasure, journalist, writer, broadcaster, social entrepreneur. I got it now.
Yes, you did.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
The program continues. Stay with us.